Namaste. Okay, today we're going to get into the hips a little bit, just a short little sequence to open up. We store a lot of emotional baggage in our hips, so just breathe through whatever you find there. So we're just going to start in a comfortable seated position as we are. Hands, palms facing down, eyes gently closed. It's nice to connect the thumb and index fingers here and place them over the knees. As you close the eyes, just soften in. Start to tune into the flow of your breath. And you might notice as you close your eyes and tune in, it's this immediate shift, this immediate softening and settling into self. I'll take a nice, big, releasing breath. Take a deep inhale. Hold. And let it out the mouth. And then settle back into a normal rhythm of breath, engaging your Ujjayi pranayama. It's just that Darth Vader breathing when we constrict the base of the throat so the breath becomes a little bit audible. Inhale, bring the hands to heart center, bow the chin slightly. Just inviting in any intention for your practice. And maybe because we're working on the hips, it's just to let go of something we might be holding on to so that we might get a little lighter, a little more open, maybe even feel a little more freedom both in our body and maybe even in our mind. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, prayer position. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Rub the palms together. Create a little heat between the hands. And then place the palms over the eyes. And gently blink the eyes open and slowly release the palms. So from here, you're going to take the soles of the feet together and the knees apart, coming into butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Yeah, so either grabbing the underside of the feet if you can, or grabbing the shins if you don't have enough space in your body. If you feel like you're really rounding back and your knees are up here by your shoulders, it could be nice to come up onto a block or take the feet a little bit further forward. So just finding what works for you best. Inhale, lift the heart and lengthen, and then exhale, fold in over your thighs. You can use the elbows to help press the knees down towards the earth. Just a nice way to widen across the low back, the sacrum. Get into the hips a little bit to start. There's tons and tons of fascial tissue around the low back and hips. And you can think of that as like a internal wetsuit that holds our muscles and organs in place. And when we sleep or when we're not very active or when we haven't moved a lot that day, that tissue tends to be really, really tight. So we're just working it open. Every exhale, maybe letting go a little bit more. And you'll feel your body opening up. Take one more inhale. And exhale, gently rise. Take the soles of the feet down onto the ground and then place the hands behind you about a foot. You want the fingertips either facing forward towards the front of your mat or out towards the sides if the wrist flexibility is an issue. From here, ground into the heels, lift the hips up towards the sky, and you might support the neck, or you can lay the head back if it's okay on the neck and there's no previous injury to your neck or the surrounding area. Take one more inhale to lift. Exhale, hips back down onto the earth. We're going to come into Sukhasana. So you're going to take the right shin in front of the left shin. Yeah. And then usually when we sit cross-legged, the heels are sort of back and the knees are wide. So Sukhasana is a little bit different. We want the shins to be parallel to the front of the mat. And then bring the knees in a little bit closer towards one another so we see this equilateral triangle in the legs. It might be nice to take the skin and flesh away from the sits bones so you can feel really rooted down. Press back into the knees, inhale, lift up through the heart. Flex the feet, and then exhale, start to fold over the thighs. Nice deep breaths as you fold in. And you'll feel this in the piriformis muscle, the outer hips. And again, just breathing, and as you exhale, maybe allowing the body in a little bit deeper, softening and softening in. And go ahead, walk both hands off the right side of your mat, reach through the left fingertips. So you get a nice stretch into the left side of your low back, and maybe even into all the way up through the left side of your rib cage, your waist. Maybe the lat muscle a little bit too. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, gently rise. From here, reach the left fingertips over to the left. And then float the right arm up over your ear, extend. You can bend the left elbow towards you as much as you need to. Root down into that right sits bone and breathe. Stretching across the right side of your waist. Inhale, come back up through center, and then reach the left hand outside the right thigh and twist as you reach the right hand behind your back, even with your tailbone. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, wring out the spine. Take one more inhale. And exhale, gently unwind. Take the soles of the feet down onto the ground. And then windshield wiper this knees side to side. Again, just releasing that synovial fluid in the joint so things are a little more malleable. Go ahead and come back to neutral, and then take the left shin in front of the right shin. So again, shins parallel to the front of the mat, knees a little bit closer, so it's more of like a box shape. And then you might, once again, move the flesh away from your sits bones. Press the hands back into the knees just to use that as leverage to lift the heart, lengthen. Flex the feet so you protect your knees. If ever you need a block underneath the left knee or the right knee, then you might experiment with that, or a bolster or whatever you have. So inhale here, exhale, fold forward. And just noticing any differences on this side. And, not to judge ourselves in any way, just to see, where we're symmetrical and where we're not, and most of us aren't. And so just noticing these subtleties in our bodies, just to become more aware of ourselves. Walk both hands over and off the left side of your mat, reaching through the right fingertips, lengthening all the way through the right side of the waist. Nice deep breaths. Should feel like a sweet yawning open. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, gently rise. Reach the right fingertips over and off the right side of your mat. Left arm up and over your ear, extend towards the left. And again, you can bend that right elbow as much as you need to, rooting the left sits bone down onto the ground. inhale, come back up. Right hand outside the left thigh, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. Inhale, look forward and unwind. Take the soles of the feet down to the ground. Once again, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Really good. Now for the fun part. We get to come onto our back. So shift forward a little bit so your hips are in the middle of your mat, and then roll down onto your back. Hug the knees into your chest. Maybe rock a little bit side to side. And then we're going to come into happy baby. So for those of us who can't quite grab the outside edges of the feet, you can grab the backs of your knees, so your hamstrings, and have the soles of the feet pointing up towards the sky as best you can. Yeah. We want to draw the tailbone down towards the earth. Lengthen the spine onto the earth. If you can, reach and grab the outside edges of the feet. Widening the upper back onto the earth. You may rock a little side to side if that feels good for you. And then either grabbing the feet or the shins, take the soles of the feet together and come into this sort of butterfly pose on your back. Good. And then slide the hands to the outside of your thighs and bring the knees back together. Hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side. Plant the soles of the feet down onto the ground. And then you're going to take the soles of the feet together and splay the knees apart. Both hands start on the belly. And then close the eyes. Now, if you're here for a little bit and you sense that is a little bit tough on the inner thighs, then you can place blocks underneath the thighs to prop the knees up a little bit more. You want to be comfortable. So from here, close the eyes. And just give your belly, which is our energy center of our personal power, give that area some love. And then place the left hand over your heart and keep the right hand on your belly. And this is where we'll relax. Letting the eyes soften and the jaw soften. Letting our body just melt away into the earth. Depending on how much time you have, you can stay here anywhere from like 3 to 20 minutes. You could even be like here for like an hour if you want to. And then once you're done, just come back to a seated position. Bring the hands to heart center. Close the eyes. And bow the chin just to honor your practice and your dedication to self-love and self-care. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.